Hello, this is Dia Damson, and today I'm going to do a small painting of a lemon. I love painting on those little canvases. I don't have too much wall space left, but I love to paint still art. And this is something that I am going to be doing on Facebook Live. So if you decide to check this one, go to Damson Books on Facebook and you can check some other tutorials that I am doing on that site. Alright, so the first thing I'm gonna do is plan my colors. This is paints that I have been using for 3 weeks and very messy palette. This palette has already blacks and blues. I can create my purples with the red, and also I have the yellows and ochre. I have a little bit of green here. So let's sketch a lemon. What shape is a lemon? It's an oval. So I'm gonna decide my lemon is gonna be centered but not quite, because if I am centering the lemon it's gonna end up right here, but I want the shadow to be part of that center. So if my shadow is coming here, I'm gonna do my lemon a little higher, and I want my lemon to take most of the space. So I'm gonna bring it closer to the top, and also the lemon has this little front and also kind of a back, and I can create a little bit of a stem here, why not? And then I'm gonna have the shadow. So light is coming from here, there is my lemon, or light could be coming from here. You can make your own lighting on your object. All right, so simple shape, oval. You have 2 tiny extensions on the side, and I will start with much darker background. So if you watch the tutorial with the cup, the coffee mug, pretty much that's going to be my background. Really nice dark. I'm gonna use a little ochre and dark brown, and I am going to apply this on the canvas. So that's kind of like a greenish olivey color with my ochre. Let's get some other brown in. I will post all the colors that I'm using in the descriptions below, so you know what I'm using in the video. Let's get black in here. I will color the sides because those tiny little paintings, I hang them, and sometimes I replace one little painting with another one depending either on the season or just time of the year. So I don't have paintings that hang all the time. Some of the paintings will move around. So I'm using this dark olivey green. It's going to be a really nice complementary color to my lemon. And browns. I'm darkening a little bit more the edge, creating a glow around it. Then I'm going to go for a shadow. So I took blue and black. Let's take a little bit of red too. And I'll create a shadow right away. Then I'm gonna continue with the top colors, but the lighter version. So I'm gonna add more ochre to it. So I'm still gonna have that dark brown with some ochre in it. Painting the sides of my little canvas because I will not frame that. I love how they just sit on the wall. And if you decide to frame it, I have framed some of those little canvases kind of like popping out of the frame, which is really, really cool. pretty much having a frame which you can make your own background on a wood or board or whatever, and then you can have a nail in it to hold this painting. Okay, so that's what happens with the little paintings. I tend to hold them in my hands. So, and usually I paint on an easel, but for the tutorials just seem better for you guys to be observing, to have a top view on the painting versus only standing view. All right, so I'm gonna close the lemon on the top. There's my lemon. All right. So if I go places inside my picture that I know that will be part of the lemon, and I already have my background a little dark, let's pour some white. I will use a little bit of white with the color that I'm using, as long as it's not red, because red and white don't play very well together. They make pink, and a lot of times when I use red, I don't go pink. But yellow and white are okay. They are good friends. They don't create a third color. They just make each other lighter or lighter. So I'm cleaning my edge on my lemon, and the same thing with the bottom. Okay, perfect. I can flip it sideways, and if I see something here that I went a little too much, here, I'm gonna just get the dark color and clean it. And yellow, let's do the yellow. So lighter color. I'm going to leave brush strokes. This is just, I love leaving tons of brush strokes. So what colors play well with yellow? We have the orange that plays well with the yellow, and also the brown, or our ochre is gonna play very nicely with the yellow. It's gonna give me a beautiful shadow, which I am running out. So it's better to pour paint a few times than waste paint like what I did 3 weeks ago, and I'm still using the same palette. So that palette went in the refrigerator in a plastic Ziploc bag, and I was able to use it for 3 weeks. So if you decide to, or if you want not to use or waste your paint, this is a good way to do. Not waste. Okay. That darker green also, like olivey green, a little bit transparent. It's gonna add a beautiful, beautiful shadow for me here. I have to wait. So I am bringing the two sides kind of together, planning my shadows and planning my highlights. Because my highlight not necessarily is straight on the top and shadow straight on the bottom. A lot of times I will have the highlights from one side, and it's concentrating somewhere more like in the middle of, or the top part of the object, but not necessarily right on top. And if we're dealing with an element that is not super smooth, then the highlights will play around, so does the shadows. So still art is a really good way for new artists to paint, and also intermediate or advanced artists just to have fun with whatever they're doing. I love doing still art. Okay, so let's add a little bit more of my... So I'm adding a little bit of black to that olivey green, and I'm gonna add a little thicker shadow on the bottom of the lemon. Oh, I grabbed red from somewhere, but that's okay. Actually, I like it. So I climbed a little higher with the shadow. So what I'm gonna do is I'll just wipe my brush, and I'm not washing it because I want part of that color to be still present, but I'm gonna tone it down. So I'm patting and gently smudging around. And this is beautiful, beautiful fruit. Okay, so I'm going to take a little bit of the orange with the yellow and the green. Just felt like adding a little bit of that here. And I think I need to add just almost like a pure black and my shadow right underneath, which is not happening. My black is dirty. Let's try again. Again, wiping the brush so I still have that color present, but not a ton of it. And let's lighten this using water. So it's a more transparent, whitish, dirty white. Again, I didn't completely wash my brush very well. Just bringing in that hue. And this is that beautiful small lemon. So it's missing the signature. It's still too wet here. Awesome. And I like to add a little bit of that blue. This is what I do. I add a little speck of color that doesn't quite belong somewhere. And I'll tone it down so it's barely visible, but it is there. And this is our little picture of a lemon. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and sign for notifications. I will post all the colors and materials that I used in this tiny little painting. And we'll see you next week, same place.